Hello. All right, I think we're good to go. Just adjust my computer there. Oh, excuse me. Hopefully that's all right. Music's a little loud, so let's knock that down. There we go. Knocked down for me, and should be knocked down for you as well. Okay, we're going to be painting this little feller. So this is one of the classic Necromunda miniatures. Is the Hive Scum. I've already made a start on him, getting kind of like just the flesh tones kind of in there, and got a nice dirty shirt and started on his legs a little bit. And again, we're using the photo to help us with light placement, so we can try and get it looking as natural as possible. And it's looking all right. I'm just going to record this, so I need to open me QuickTime. Where is that? There we go. So I'm just going to record. So I've got this footage as well, because I'm going to be using this perhaps for a video when I'm doing YouTube. I've also got another one, which is the bounty hunter with the crazy bouffant hair. So I'm going to look forward to painting him, but for the time being, we're going to be working on this guy with the plasma pistol, because he looks pretty cool. He's got a lovely face. I really enjoyed painting that. That was good fun. All right, so let's get on. We're going to try and paint his jacket. He's got a very kind of medieval look to the guy, so we're going to paint his jacket with a brown. We're going to go with the leather brown because it looks leathery. Ahoy! Which kind of makes sense. So I'm running out of space on my wet palette here, and I haven't been painting for a few days, so it's all gone a bit runny. So I can't really use any of this paint that's on here. So I may have to change over my wet palette if I run out of space. But we're going to try and use it to its maximum use. I'm actually going to put in just a dollop of water. There we go. Now, I managed to sell my first miniature. I was very happy about that. And so here in Japan, there's kind of like an online store that you can sell things on yourself called Mercari. And so there's a few Warhammer things on there. No one's really putting up painted miniatures, or some people are, but they're not painted particularly well, and they're still asking quite a bit of money. So I thought, you know what, I'll give that a go. So there was those corn demons that I was painting for what feels like forever. And so I put them up on the store. Put it up for what is, I guess, the equivalent of about $120 US. When I bought them, they were $70. So I was like, okay, that's a small hike in price, just to see if people would like to buy painted models. And I was expecting it to just sit on the store for a long time until someone perhaps wanted those particular models, but it sold within like 4 hours of me putting it up on the store. So I'm like, maybe there is a market for this. So I'm going through like some of my old models that I'm never going to really use, and I'm going to paint them up fairly nicely and just try and sell them and see how much I can get for them. And this is going to be one of them. Although I really like this model. Unpainted, I was very he's very meh. Not very interesting. But then as you start painting him, the details are really, really nice on it. For a classic model, it's really quite a characterful model. The face is quite superb. And I love the fact that he's got like a shirt with loads of holes in, and yeah, it's just overall very grungy and dirty and yucky and almost kind of like Monty Python medieval kind of look of like the peasants are revolting. Kind of look to them. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so we've kind of now, where does his jacket start and end there? I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell where the jacket is on the inside, if it's actually, I think it's just there, there we go. Sorry if you can't see that particularly well. I need to be able to see it properly, so I'm kind of hogging up a lot of the positioning on it. Here you can kind of see how a base coat can affect the color of something, because it's a very light brown versus the very dark brown that we've painted over the black. Just shows you how translucent these paints are and how a base coat can affect the results of what you paint and how you can use that to your advantage. If I was smart enough to use it for my advantage. Alright, so how are we going to lighten this tunic? I think we kind of give it a bit of warmth. So rather than going with whites, we're going to try and maybe mix in a little bit of oranges to lighten it just a wee bit. So let's pop in, let's try and mix in a bit of red orange. See what happens, and then maybe we can use that for our highlights. I think we can work with that. So let's just use our photo to help us a little bit here. So we're going to be catching this bit here. Stretching along there. Now this is fabric, so it's going to react a bit differently in light than other materials. So we've got to kind of be careful how we paint it to try and keep some of the properties of the fabric. I think also it's going to be a bit rougher in places as well. We can be a bit more general with exactly where we place a lot of this. Just try and give it a kind of a texture. Nothing too much there. Go a touch lighter. Ah, hello Linda. Yes, long time no see. Keeping yourself busy then. Yeah, it's been a bit crazy for myself lately because of work. I'm finally kind of finishing up all my work. I got one more day and then I hit my holidays. So I should be getting a fair bit of painting done and maybe some other videos done as well. And yeah, and I've been kind of very pleased with the progress that I've been making with my painting. I feel like I'm getting one of those moments where you kind of, something clicks and you're kind of figuring out how painting works or a certain technique works. So I'm kind of in that phase at the moment. I also managed to sell my first sets of minis, so I'm kind of entering into commission painting as a possible thing to do. I'm going to be selling this model as well when it's done. See if I can actually get anything for it. It's a vintage Necromunda model, so it should get me something. Whether or not I get enough for the time spent on it, I don't know. That we'll have to wait and see. But it's kind of a fun model to paint. Now, I have a choice of doing true metallic metals or non-metallic metals. I'm more interested in trying non-metallic metals and trying to do it in a way that perhaps looks a little bit dirty and icky. Perhaps a little bit of a kind of a bronzed one. I'm not sure quite how I'm going to approach it with just like a rusty steel, but I'm going to have to think about how I approach it. But now I could do the boots a similar colour to his kind of weird medieval jacket thingy, but I don't know. I might do the helmet. This helmet, I can't figure out which bits. There's kind of like bits which are metal and bits which aren't. So let's focus on the getting all of it first painted black. Yeah, I'm looking forward to holiday time. I'm really needing it. It's been a very, very busy month, November, and now I'm in December. It's kind of the first half of December is very busy, hopefully soon I can just chill for a bit. It would be nice. Especially the first few days as my wife is working and my daughter's at school, so I can kind of just enjoy that time a little bit. Try and see if I can paint up some more models to be sold. Right now I kind of got a lot of old models that I'm not using at all, so I want to kind of just use them for practice and then just sell them. And then I can use that money that I make to get myself a new airbrush. And if I get enough money from it all, I might even think about getting a 3D printer. So we'll see if these models can fund my further hobbying. That would be the thinking there. Are you all prepared for Christmas? Done all your Christmas shopping and everything else that's required around Christmas? Thank you. He's always got a little bionic eye. Figure out how I'm going to paint that one. And do I do OSL with it? I don't know. Right. Let's see. I kind of want to have a look at some reference photos for how others have painted this model now. I'm not feeling very confident with a lot of it. I like how I've got my trousers, that's all good. So I think we're going to be putting in a lot more brown, but we're going to go with maybe a darker brown than the tunic. So we've raised the tunic's kind of, the tunic, is it a tunic or the jacket's colour up with the orange. So we could do just a dark brown for the leather straps and things, and just that should hopefully be enough of a contrast there. We'll just play around with that. We're mostly ready for Christmas. We've been a bit, because we've been busy, we haven't been able to go to the post office. We've had like the presents all ready to be sent back to England, but we just haven't had a chance to actually send them, so they're going to be late. So I apologise to my parents and family for that, because we did all of our preparation early. It's just, then we ran out of time to be able to actually send it off, which is kind of frustrating. Otherwise, most of the prep is done. Got a few things for my daughter, and yeah, we're good. Me and my daughter made a kind of craft keychain things out of UV resin for my wife. That was kind of a fun little project that we had on the go whilst my wife was out working. It was kind of good to get that done. We were having some fun with that. And it got me some ideas of how I can use the UV resin for my models as well. So I was like, eee. He's got some kind of weird bandages and things on him. So I'm going to try and paint them a little bit differently. All these little bags and things, we'll just make them all the same kind of leather. Right. Some of the undercoat has come off on this. Try and cover some of that metal. Into those points of the model where I'm like, I'm not quite sure where I want to take this. What direction do I want to go? Don't know the colour I want to paint those. Probably not. Probably want to do a similar kind of off-white kind of colour. So if that's a shot. He's a pretty looking fella. Don't know if they're going a bit too bright. I can always dark them down with it, maybe a wash. Just make it a bit grimier. Right, where are we? What we're going to do with you, mister? I wonder if we just go for a... We'll go for a non-metallic metal look on the metal areas, and we'll just go from there and see what we think. So I'm going to use a bit of black, and I'll use the ivory because we want to go on to that kind of more yellowy tinge. I wonder if we just use ice yellow. Let's use ice yellow. There you go. And they're the extremes we're going to use. So let's start with the ice yellow, marking some of the little shines that we're going to have. So on, ugh. I want to catch the top of the cap there, along with the edge. I need to water down this icy yellow a little bit. It's not running smoothly enough for me. There we go. So right now we're just kind of sketching out some ideas of where perhaps light is reflecting a little bit off this cap. Right, now let's just try now blending all of this together. So I'm going to take some black, take some ice yellow, maybe a bit more, mix that in together, a bit of a range, touch of the water. Just so we can glaze it a bit more easily. I'm not looking for it to be super clean at the moment, especially as it's kind of dirty, kind of metal that we're going for here. So we don't need that super nice shine on it. We just want to kind of show where it is catching the light a little bit here and there. Kind of feeling this one out as I go. Not sure how much I really like it, but we'll just kind of keep going back and forth a little bit with these colors until we kind of start to see a nice blend. You can also exaggerate it with some edge highlighting as we go. I want to have a go at painting the rest of this hat brown to see if it feels right. think that works. What we might just need to do is just exaggerate some of the contrast between the metal and the leather. I think that kind of works out kind of well. I quite like how the leather goes against the metal. Try blacklining some of this. I feel like some of this needs better separation. Remarkably medieval hiver. Now I think we give this guy a red bionic eye. So let's go ahead and use a bit of corn red, because you can't go wrong with a bit of corn red. And kind of see where that bionic eye is going to be. I'm actually going to mix in a little bit of black. We're going to go and darken this a wee bit. Then we're going to go lighter. Then I'm going to mix in a little bit of this orange in with the corn red. Make it a little bit more fiery. Give it a little bit of a grungy look. Do it a bit more, just to liven it up a bit. A bit of a glint. A very tiny glint into the center. So there's a little bit of a shine coming from the center of it. It's fairly dim. That's all right. Wasn't quite sure what I was aiming for with that, but it's come out okay. Right. Right, let me redo these shoulders, but we're going to give them, I'm going to give them a go Isn't quite going the way I want it. Don't really like how it's looking, but we'll just play around with it, see what we can do. I might have to just redo these ones. I'm trying to go for a not so shiny metallic look, so it's kind of just more blended in with each other rather than having kind of like the really strong contrasts, to try and give it a kind of a slightly metallic look, but one that's kind of old and dingy. But I don't think I'm really achieving that result. Difficult. Difficult to do it as a non-metallic metal. Okay, I think we're maybe getting somewhere with it. It's just getting the temperature right on the on how it looks. Like how dark should I go and how bright should we go? And how much of it should have it? I feel like going quite dark is better. We'll try a little bit on the other side, see what we get. A bit like that. That's kind of a rough idea. Mix in, get the kind of the mid-tone that we're looking for. Just water it down a little bit. Go a little bit dark, creep this in. I'm actually happier with this one than I am the other. We need a little bit of just almost pure black. Just kind of lining some of that. kind of got to let that dry, and then we can retouch that up. I think that's actually getting somewhere there. Yeah, actually adding that little bit of black really helped. It's helped define a little bit more of that bleakness into the color scheme. Sorry, just smacked my glasses into the camera there. Okay. Well, it's not a bad go of it so far. Now I've got to get up early tomorrow, so I know it's a very short stream today. I only got a little bit done, but I'm fairly happy with the progress we're making, and we'll continue in the next time. I'll have a little think about exactly how I want to paint up some of the areas, but pretty pleased with how it's come out along, and we'll continue another time. I've got a bit of a headache, so I'm gonna have to get my rest. All right, thank you very much. It was really nice to see you, Linda, on here again. It's been a while. I hope you take care and have a lovely holiday. Otherwise, everyone, thank you and good night.